Welcome to a new Waterwave TV interview. I am here with the one and only, you may know him behind the mask or behind the helmet, whatever it's called, the one and only Shifter.
It's Shifter. Well,
We were we were wondering if you were going to come in with the helmet on.
I was there's this aspect to where I was actually thinking about it genuinely coming through with like the full suit, but I think what would be better for myself is to let people know who I am like behind the mask.
Yeah,
And
and you don't necessarily hide your face like you do
no.
streams, and your pin when your pin post on Instagram is a picture of you.
Yeah.
But most of the content is with the helmet on, so it's almost like a marshmallow effect. They see the helmet, they know like what they're about to see.
It's almost like the helmet was it's funny you bring it up because the helmet was almost like part of it's like that was my brand.
Mhm.
When people I could walk around as myself, people would have no idea who I was. And there was actually there was a part of me that wanted to conceal my face and to keep that private because I wanted people to follow the movement, follow the messages I was spreading rather than being here for different reasons. For it didn't matter who was under the helmet.
Mhm.
It was about the message I was spreading. But yeah, no helmet today. No
Mhm.
helmet today. So
That's all right. We get to find who it is behind the helmet and learn a little bit more about you. I feel like when I do a lot of my interviews, I like to figure out kind of what era you grew up in, where you're from, and then how you eventually got into making content in your sense.
yeah, no. So born and raised in Burnsville my whole life. Graduated Burnsville, and it's been this whole content creation. It's weird because when I was younger, let's say like almost 10 years ago, I got into Twitch streaming. I was making little short films for like, I'd go on these vacations, I'd make a short film. I'd offer to make a film for other people, like weddings, just random, like just filming photography, because I love the creativity aspect behind
Hmm.
it. And I felt like I could find those right angles and like make cinematic things. And so, and I actually, Twitch streaming, I did so many things before this journey of becoming Shifter. And it's really cool to see how my whole past experience and my life has evolved and led me up to this point. And I think it's we talk about getting into the journey of like how this all started. There's an aspect to where I knew I had so many skills. I knew that I wanted to be creative. It wasn't just like I know I'm creative, but that's what I wanted to do. I was passionate about it. I was passionate about just, and it wasn't even necessarily like motivational or inspirational at first. It was just like hopping on the bike, the helmet. I felt cool. The helmet motorcycle riders, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. We have the it's like the helmet confidence. You put the helmet on, it's a mask, you can't see
Hmm.
who I am. You feel like a superhero in a
Hmm.
sense. It gives you a sense of like it gives you a sense of confidence.
It's probably like having dark tint in a nice car.
Yeah, I mean like literally like you think of like Darth Vader or something,
Hmm.
you put on that helmet and you just feel like this different version of you. And as someone that has grown through my journey, I've had my own battles with mental health and growing up, and I lacked so much confidence. And so wearing the helmet was an outlet for me to. I
Hmm.
have this quote that I made up, but it was the helmet was a mask I wore that revealed the truth, and it allowed me to be myself. It allowed me to do the things that I was so insecure about making content, calling myself a creator, calling myself just anything out there. And I
Yeah,
think a lot of us deal with that. It's the imposter syndrome, you know.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. And I think even starting a brand, especially a content creator, I don't even know picture this is. Oh, this from Wavefest. I didn't even know. It was like just a random picture sitting on the table. Anybody becoming a content creator kind of has to go through that first loop of like, I don't want to hold the camera up in public. I don't want to do that. That's
mhm.
kind of, I didn't want to do it at first. I was in the mall vlogging with my hand down here, not, being shy until someone, because you don't know how people are going to perceive it. And the times have changed where I think a lot of people, they've changed to where it's more accepted, but a lot of people see like the negative sides where they see people pranking, and doing stupid
Yeah,
public things, and they see someone with a camera and they think they're up to no good. But there
it's
also is a
yeah.
lot of good out there. But would you say so? Maybe having the idea of making content with the helmet on kind of helped you break that barrier.
1,000,000%. And
Mm.
I can't tell you the amount of times where I'd have the tripod in the street. and a car would come driving down the street, I would quickly grab the tripod, run and hide, and that would be
Mhm.
because I was so like I said, like the insecurities and like the lack of self love, self awareness of what I wanted to do.
Mhm.
I felt like I was doing something. Like, I felt like everyone was judging me, and there was definitely a lot of judgment going into this journey. The amount of people that question, like, "What are you doing? Like, why are you making the videos on the bike? Why are you talking about struggles? Like, what's the purpose of what you're doing?" And
Yeah.
that was here's the thing I've realized too is like you can get so many accolades like on social media. So many people can tell you like love what you're doing, but the moment that someone that's close to you, like your family, your friends, when you don't feel that love or support from them, it's like there's so much weight in the people that you love, and so I think like it wasn't so much of getting judgment from the outside world, but it was the people that were closest to me.
Mhm.
That was like very difficult. But yeah, we talk about being nervous. It's 100% true.
Mhm.
Like I said, running away, hiding, setting the camera down, holding it against my leg because I didn't want people to see I was recording. Just the feeling awkward and embarrassed. So 100% true. The helmet truly helped at
Mhm.
first with my lack of like insecurities and self confidence for sure.
Yeah. And now you're most known for doing content with your daughter,
Yeah.
and I'm sure she had to kinda jump through hoop, or maybe you're so young that you don't have those insecurities yet. You don't feel like, "Oh my god, all these
Mhm.
eyes are maybe gonna be watching me look stupid with a camera in my hand." But, I'm guessing when you first started making content, you were doing it by yourself, or at
Yeah.
least maybe with your friends or, some other people, but then eventually you come up with the idea of how I first seen you at least was riding around on your bike with your daughter.
Hmm.
How did like what would you remember the first time you're like, let's try to make a video together? You remember that moment and
Yep.
how much has changed?
First starting out, I'll never forget. Rose would love going on the back of my bike, and starting out this journey, it's always just been myself or Rose. I wasn't, for me, it was I was just on this journey by myself technically, and it formulated it. I've gone through so many adversities in the last 2 3 years of starting this journey, and so is my daughter. And I think us as parents, we tend to shine the light of I'm going through a lot, like I'm stressing, I'm struggling, but we fail to recognize like what about our kids, you know?
Hmm.
And there's this aspect to where like starting out this journey, my messages were all about the first year and a half were all about mental health, motivation, breaking free from limitations, and it was very self-centered focus. And seeing some small growth starting that did open up the eyes for my daughter Rose. And starting out like going on the bike rides were phenomenal. It was just like we weren't recording or anything, and we just would have so much fun. We'd go out for even just an hour, and just have like the time of our lives. And then I came up with the idea of like let's just record a vlog, let's just
Hmm.
see what happens, no pressure. Like, what are we going to talk about? Like, no, just be ourselves. We don't have to talk about nothing. Let's just record the whole experience. And being on the bike with me, she didn't. There was no insecurities with that. But we've had moments where like we walk through Target with the helmets on and the cameras on, and that's where some of the insecurities come out. You're walking through Target with a helmet on, and
Hmm.
camera people are looking at you like, what the heck are these guys doing? And but there's an aspect to it where I've found a way to like flip it to where it's like they're the weird ones. They're the ones that are judging us. They're the ones that
Hmm.
are living the same life. We're doing something new. We're doing something different. And so, for me, I think as a parent, the best way to teach is by leading the way.
Hmm.
There's so many things I can teach her and talk to her and tell her do this, do that, but what good is it if I'm not living a life like that, you know?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, this the journey of riding with Rose. The way that I look at it was two souls coming together through during difficult times.
Hmm.
It was a father that wanted a bond, a deeper bond with his daughter, and it was a daughter that needed a bond with her dad.
Mm.
And it was just like with the helmet. This whole journey was just an excuse to bond with her, and it was for no one else besides her and I. And to see the authenticity grow, to see our relationship grow. We have never scripted one video.
Hmm.
We've done skits and stuff, but like all of our vlogs, 100% just turning the camera on and recording. So it's been truly like the one of the best things that's ever happened to me. 100%.
Definitely, yeah. Ben, before I get too deep, you want to just flip the thing right on that one? Because I just want to be able to monitor if anything goes wrong with that one. Yeah. I don't, because if you know, because eventually, you know, DSLRs time out too, you know. So just so we are all on the same page if something times out. Yeah, just so I can see it, or if it overheats, just because that one's in front of you, so I can see that one. All right. Um, I'm sure going through the process, she had to learn a lot, but I'm sure she also taught you a lot of things. Like while you're on the road, maybe you catch up on some stuff that I feel like kids are smarter than we think nowadays. But even just through the idea of making content, like, has she taught you some stuff along the way? You know what I mean?
I think to be fair, like of course she's taught me so many things, but she's taught me one of the most valuable lessons I've ever learned in my whole life. And it's I've talked about this, but she proved to me that there's joy in every moment of the journey.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, our bond, this Riding with Rose bond, formulated because of a struggle, because of hard times. And as someone that, like I mentioned, that has gone through my own mental battle struggles, like this connection, like it wasn't just telling me, and it wasn't just, it showed me, it was proof that there's joy in the journey, that there's
Mm-hmm.
joy within the struggle, and that it's not just joy, but there's beauty, and that the struggle is the beautiful. That's where the beautiful stuff happens.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we fail to realize that. Like I said, we have this perception of I'm going through things, I'm struggling, and in the connection and the bond that we've formulated has truly shown me like how beautiful life really is.
Mm-hmm.
Once you're able to capture it and find that. So
Yeah, and along the way, social media I think is great for this. You've probably, I feel, maybe even re-sparked some relationships for some, you know, father-daughter households, or you know, anything
oh
like
yeah,
that, like where they see you doing these things and they're like, oh, I want to have a relationship like that. Like, do you, I don't, have you seen that on, has anyone, you know, reached out to you? You know, I feel like I interview a lot of music artists, and some people are
yeah,
like, you know, your music changed my life, or, you know, people make TikToks to their songs and you can tell
yeah,
they've been through some stuff. But I feel like what you're doing can kind of, you know, uplift other people as well. It's one, you know, might put a smile on their face.
yeah.
Two, it might even help their household life. Have you kind of perceived that at all along the
Yeah,
way?
I mean, like the most frequent comment that I see all the time on my socials is like, "I wish I had a dad like you. I wish that I was connected with my child like this." And my response is that like, I wish I had a dad like this too. And I think that there's this aspect of using my struggles in my past as a reason that motivates me. The things that I've gone through is not going to be the reason I've broken down, but the reason why I'll break free.
Mm-hmm.
And the connection has sparked like I have so many, just even just like from young children saying like, I hope I can ride my dad's motorcycle someday, like I hope my dad will let me, and like, or just adults asking me questions like advice on how to connect with their kids even. And so it's been to see that to see the impact that we make. It really it's there 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And the amount of messages, like I said, it's crazy. It's just proof. All it is just proof that it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I don't think that there's a specific thing I can. There's advice I could give. There's things that I could talk about, but I think people, like it wasn't just not just people, but myself and my daughter. Like we needed to see proof that it's possible,
Yeah.
and so it's 100% yes.
Yeah, and I think what you touched on earlier, saying like being 100% authentic on the camera and not scripting anything and just, you know, hit and record, and you know, you don't even have to you know, it's like it's not there. And
Mhm.
you know, having like those 360 cams that you do have, I feel like
Yeah.
kind of make it easy. You can just pin it on one spot and know everything's covered.
Yep. Yep.
Like when you came in to shoot, you know, with it on, and here when we started the front, you don't have to, you're not even worrying about where it's at. So it
No.
almost helps with that fear too. You don't have to point and turn and
It's
share it
yeah.
around. But
Shout
yeah,
out to Insta 360. No, the cameras are amazing. You literally just push the button, hit record, it
yeah.
captures everything around you.
Yeah, I
So
kind of like the idea of one right here. almost might need to see what it looks like
And
for like an angle for this. It's kind of cool. I don't know. But yeah, you've turned, the success on social media into like a full brand. Like
yeah,
it's not just, oh, I'm the guy that rides bikes around with my daughter. I've seen you on the Twitch streams, you got merch going, like you making music. There's a lot going on. So like it's obviously been able to open up other alleys of things you're interested in as well. And also, you said you were streaming a little bit earlier on too, so it's kind of shed a light and maybe rekindled some of your
yeah.
old hobbies and old aspirations as well. So I don't know, I kind of wanted to just hear your idea on, becoming an entrepreneur through, viral content and how you've handled it.
Yeah, and that's a very difficult bridge to gap because you can get the views, you can get likes, you can
Mm-hmm.
become online famous,
Yep.
but it translates to nothing if you have no brand, if you have nothing else that you're working on. A lot of I feel like a lot. I think that a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs, regardless of what industry it's in, we think that the numbers, the views, like that's what's the beauty behind it. And I'm sure with you and with the things that you've accomplished, you can relate with me when I say it feels so amazing to be here today, and it feels so good to have all these things established. But it's really like I said, the beauty is in the growth and
Mm-hmm.
the journey. And having the brand behind it, and
Mm-hmm.
having and so like I mentioned about the helmet being a mask that disguised the truth, like the motorcycle was never an escape for me, but it was an excuse to create my own reality.
Mm-hmm.
It was and I dealt with this. A lot of people will feel this way, where I trapped myself in a box of being being a motorcycle content creator, and I was like I'm so much more than this. Like hopping on the bike was just fun,
Mm-hmm.
and like I enjoyed it, and it was easy to make content for me just to hit the record button, but to be honest with you, like I had so many, like it was just weird how everything in my past life was like preparing me for like where I'm at today. And like I mentioned, like my purpose is to show others that there's joy in every step of the journey, that you can truly learn to love yourself and find joy. And I feel like we hold limitations on ourselves. And this whole riding with Rose journey is me proving to her that we can break free from limitations. That no matter what we're going through,
Mm-hmm.
we can have an amazing time. We can find joy. And I think that honing in on your creativity and your passions is so essential.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I deal with the imposter syndrome. Like I just started dropping music within this last year, and I haven't. I created a Shift music page. I haven't posted. I have that imposter syndrome talking about music and certain things.
Mm-hmm.
But the more I've stayed true to myself, I found more and more relating with me,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's a super. That's a really key point right there. Is no matter what you do, is if you're true to yourself and you speak authentically, you speak authentically and talk about things that you're going through,
Mm-hmm.
there's others will relate with you,
Yeah.
and real recognizes real.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an aspect to just being your authentic self and loving yourself truly. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like everything will all come together
Mm-hmm.
essentially,
Yeah.
so
And I think even like touching on the music side of things, being able to make your own music, will allow you to be able to use, royalty free sounds for your videos,
yep,
and
yep.
always just having, like, and maybe some people, will enjoy your music because of who you are and what you did.
That's
It doesn't necessarily need to become your new thing. Like you don't necessarily
yeah.
need to be selling out arenas, but like if I think it's good to like be in, not have all your eggs in one basket and work on
Mhm.
a little bit of things. And you can tell you're a pretty good content creator because of all the technical issues we had for this
It's
podcast. If you're watching the YouTube version of this and not just like a
hey,
clip of each question, because I know each clip of each question is going to look like nothing went wrong, but we've had like
we
two
went through
camera overheats.
technical
We've had the
difficulties.
Focusrite cut out, and we haven't lost one step.
No,
And most
we're
people I interview,
we picked it right back
we
up.
probably like, this would have been one of the worst ones ever, but it's like up there for like some
We're
of the
good.
best advice and conversations I've had in this table. Like, so I think, yeah, doing more than one is like another lesson I think some creators should do. Like you should stream, you should make, IG reels and TikToks and maybe make some music. It doesn't necessarily, you don't need to be the next big rapper to make music and have fun and have, audio assets for your videos and stuff too.
And I want to just put something into perspective, exactly what you just said. Like, my main goal is I don't want to be known as a moto vlog creator. I don't want to be known as a musician. I don't want to be known as someone that's had a successful merch line, because one thing doesn't mean as much without the other. The music means nothing without the movement. The movement means nothing without riding with Rose. The merch means nothing without the impact. And so there's an example of, like, last year I went to Rose's school and I taught a class there. And during the class, I gave out merch and to just 20 kids. And then next thing you know, I've got 40, 50 kids asking for key tags and stuff. And then next thing you know, I performed a song at the school in front of 400 kids and 50 teachers, and so it's like everything has come together and unified itself into one big brand. And so there's this aspect of it. Use your creativity, like branch out, go try stuff. Like don't sit back and just like be comfortable. Don't be comfortable. Like there's comfortability within discomfort. Like it sounds confusing, but like this, like how long we talked about this interview like a couple days ago. Most people would want to plan, set up, weeks in advance and get super prepared. And like I was telling you, like, let's just have a conversation. Let's chill. Let's just get, and it's don't be afraid. I was nervous driving here. I was like, like the good nerves. So it's don't be afraid, guys. Don't be afraid.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of gems and a lot of lessons there, and it's been dope to get to know you, and definitely go check out his socials, because we had like a whole 20-30 minute conversation before this, which I'm sure he's gonna clip up and put on 100%. Instagram or wherever and talk about it on there too. So
no, I genuinely am so thankful and very appreciative of you, even considering me have come through. It means a lot to me. And I just I see what you're doing, and I really appreciate it a lot. Seriously,
I appreciate it. Yeah. Is there any closing comments you'd like to make besides obviously check out all your socials if you haven't heard of him yet? But most likely, if you've tuned into this point, you probably have heard of him, and that's why you're here. But anything else you'd like to put in there?
Just for anyone who feels stuck, and for anyone who feels lost, is to just to know that everything will be okay, and that there is light. And there is a way. Take it from someone that has gone through the mental struggles, that has gone through. I lost my brother last year to mental health, and from someone that knows what it's like to be in the abyss, just know that you can learn to love yourself, and that you can break free. I promise.
Why wouldn't we end it any other way with more technical difficulties? This is awesome. Well, come shop with us at 1521 Como Avenue, Southeast Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Right here, get this.
Shout out Shifter. Go support him.
Get the water wave, y'all. Stay thirsty. Get the water wave. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. And if you're dealing with mental health, like he mentioned at the end, not to just breeze past it. Make sure you talk to somebody. Don't hide it. I always think
100%.
Spreading your emotions with people is always good. I haven't had any crazy mental health scares in my life yet, but I know whenever I'm starting to feel down, just talking to someone about it is a lot better than bottling it up.
Last thing I want to say is that especially as a men, we feel like we have to be strong, and that we have to like put this wall up. And I think it takes a stronger individual to be open with their feelings and to be open with their emotions, but using it for good things and using it to help you break free. Not break down, but break free. So yeah.
Let's end it that way. Like, subscribe, share. We out. This was the most motion camera change podcast ever.
Peace. Shifter.